pregnant, and alone? You have options. The Sanctuary of Hope offers expectant mothers ages 12 to 22 a place to live, medical care, counseling, continued education, and options to raise your baby in a loving environment or help you with adoption. We want to help provide you and your baby with a bright future. Call us or email us today and let's walk through this together. 210-499-1554 or sohcares.org. All inquiries are confidential.
The Dear Agency specializes in helping you understand your coverage before you need it. We offer all lines of personal and commercial insurance, including auto, home, and life. Contact Dawn Deere at 210-507-2169 and visit us at 7529 North Loop 1604 in Live Oak, Texas, or farmersagent.com/ddeer.
You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again with your host, Shamaya Reed, right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer on this Sunday morning. And today we have some special guests in the studio. We have Blue, all blue today. And it's not sad. It's great blue, man. We have Sapd in the house. We're going to be talking to Doug Greene, and he has a special guest, Officer Perez. And before we get into the crazy details of today's show, I just want to say thank you to what y'all do for San Antonio.
Thank you.
And shout out to Sapd and all the things that they're doing in the community, keeping us safe and just bringing us together. That's what it's all about.
That's right.
First and foremost, Mr. Doug Greene, people who don't know you, tell them a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, I'm born and raised South Texas native. Love the state of Texas and love San Antonio. But I grew up in a small town called Woodsboro, and it's just north of Corpus Christi, about 45 miles north of Corpus. And it's one of those small towns that you can leave your eyes wide open driving through it and you'll miss it. You know, don't blink. Okay. But the upbringing there, in small town Texas, was very intimate, very much a family atmosphere. You couldn't do nothing wrong without mama finding out. And so people looked after each other. And it reminds me of the city of San Antonio, just a family atmosphere that we have here. And so love growing up in Woodsboro. It was one of those towns that revolved around football. And I love playing football. My father actually played professional football for about 4 years in the NFL. And so I just thank the good Lord that he placed me in Woodsboro, because a lot of my character was built there and just my family values was built there.
And speaking of character and family values in sports, man, leadership is big for teamwork. What was some of the things you took away from your dad as you watched him play in sports? What was some of the leadership skills that he helped instill in you?
Well, I have to tell you that my dad was always very encouraging to me, and no matter what the situation that I was going through, he was always there, a voice of reason. But who really also played a very important role in my life was those coaches. Those high school coaches, they're not just coaches. They act as father figures, counselors, they're teachers. They wear a lot of different hats. And what they did is that it wasn't all about sports, really. It was really about slowing down and focusing on building your character and helping you become a successful person. And so that's helped me to, it doesn't have to be about police work all the time. It's about slowing down. And I strongly believe that God puts people in your lives for a reason. And so slowing down and recognizing that and empathizing with those folks and trying to help them. I mean, we're servants. All of us are servants, even as police officers. And that's what we're called to do, to help others.
You're just now tuning in. You listen to I Am Refocused Radio here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. We're talking to the officer, Sapd, Doug Greene, and we're going to have this special guest that he brought with us a little bit later in the show, Officer Perez. But take us back to when you decided that you wanted to be a police officer.
Well, one thing that I tell people, they ask, when did you decide to be a police officer? This job is definitely a calling. So I honestly feel the day that I was born, I was called into this role. But it wasn't until I turned 30 that I felt that my heart was right to join the ranks of the San Antonio Police Department. The foot chases, the car chases, and all the exciting things that come with police work are great. But if you don't have the servant heart, then you don't need to be a police officer. And then you have to ask yourself a very serious question before joining these ranks. Are you willing to lay your life down for complete strangers? And also understanding not only are you joining the police department, but your wife and your kids and your family are joining with you. And that has an impact on them. And so it wasn't until, God brought me to that point that said, you know what, Doug, now your heart is ready to serve. It did take a couple of years, but I had a plan in place for you. And now I can strongly, without a doubt, say that if it came to a point where I had to lay down my life for the great people of San Antonio or anywhere, I would do that in a heartbeat.
And when you see how San Antonio is growing so fast at a fast rate, so many great things are happening in the city, so many new businesses are starting to come in fruition. What excites you the most looking into the community of San Antonio with people that you get to see every single day?
Well, our city is growing very fast, but we still have that small town mentality, that family feel, little big town, what we like to call San Antonio. So I think if we just hold true to those family values, we're going to be all right. And it's also important that we have a variety of different people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, coming and serving as first responders. So they're also a reflection of the community that they serve. And we would love to see a lot more women join the ranks. Mm-hmm. You'll see a lot of women in schools as teachers, and I think that's amazing. That's great. But I'd like to see that reverse just a little bit. I'd like to see a little bit more male teachers there in the schools and a little bit more women on the ranks. And so you teachers out there, if you're getting ready to retire, if you're under the age of 41, come on over here to San Antonio Police Department. And I know we have a lot of guys in our department. When they retire, they go into the teaching role as well. And so you'll find a lot of similarities between teachers and police officers.
Just now tuning in, this is I Am Refocused Radio talking to Mr. Doug Greene, Sapd. And speaking of people wanting to join the force, do a little pitch real quick. There's people listening right now, and someone say, man, I want to be a police officer or find a way to get involved. How do they do that?
Well, first thing I would say is go to sapdcareers.com. sapdcareers.com. There's a lot of great information on there, and there's contact information for recruiters that you can call and talk to. This is a decision that I recommend that you don't rush into. Find out a lot about it, and we have a lot of resources on that website. And then talk to somebody and talk to other officers and get their perspective on how they feel about this career choice. But again, if you have that servant heart and you feel that you want to be a part of something bigger than yourself, and maybe you're sitting in the office, you say, man, I know I'm meant for more. Let me tell you, I found a lot of pleasure in becoming a police officer and serving my community in this capacity. This is one of those jobs that I would do for free. And so definitely seriously consider, but again, talk to your family and talk to a lot of police officers and get their perspective on this career choice.
And speaking of family, that's a perfect segue into a topic that we're talking about in the green room. And there's something about family assistant unit that came to play. And we have your other special guest today, Oscar Perez. I just want to welcome him to the show. And real quick, tell the audience a little bit about what you do.
My name is Officer Oscar Perez, and I'm a 14-year veteran of the San Antonio Police Department. I patrol, my functions are to patrol the south side of San Antonio. I've actually worked pretty much every shift that we have available. So I've gotten pretty familiar with the ins and outs of all types of police work at different types of hours, different types of crimes. And like my partner said, that serving heart is what you got to have for this job, because it takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot out of your family. Being a policeman takes a lot of sacrifice.
Same question I asked Doug. What inspired you to become an officer?
My inspiration came a little later than Doug's. I was older than 30. I was 33 when I joined. It was a sacrifice that I looked to see that, like Doug said, you look into yourself and say, I can do more. I can serve better. I can be a better person, be a better role model. And my kids had a lot of influence on that. to show them that, hey, you know, it's good to be something to look forward to, a great career to have, and something for them to aspire to be, to become, and know that the sacrifices you make are for our community that we love. I mean, I'm born and raised here in San Antonio. I am 47 years old now. I've been here my whole life. So I love this city. I love the people in it, and I will do what I have to do to take care of them.
I almost want to start a tagline saying, the blue is with you.
I love it.
You know, so San Antonio listener right now this morning on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, you listen to I Am Refocused Radio. We host Shemaya Reed. Going back to the Family Assistant Unit, I'm going to have you both, Officer Doug and Officer Perez, to touch a little bit about what this is all about. And I'll start with Doug. What is Family Assistant Unit, and what does all that involve?
Well, the Family Assistance Unit is comprised right now of about 30 officers, and their responsibilities is to respond to any incident where an officer is injured seriously in the field or loses their life in the line of duty. And so we immediately respond to the hospital. We stand by there to receive the family, and we are assigned to the family. We help them get them whatever they need. We walk them through this whole process, and we stay with them until we retire. We are assigned to this family. We want to make sure that they are not alone, because it's just a very tragic situation for anybody to lose a loved one. And we want to make sure that that their sacrifice, their loved one's sacrifice for this community, will be honored and will never be forgotten. And we make sure that they're not forgotten. It always starts off with one, and it started off with one officer, Officer Delgado, who saw the need for this. He saw other units doing this, and it just kind of caught fire. And so we have officers that are from patrol, we have lieutenants and sergeants, people from our intelligence unit, from all different parts of the department that have decided to be a family assistance officer. And we call this the calling within the calling. We have a calling to serve our community as police officers, but then you have this sense of a calling to serve other police officers, especially in a time of tragedy.
And Mr. Perez, Officer Perez, what's some of the things that officers are also doing with these families as they're pretty much not just keeping them company, but I guess you can say keeping them focused to keep moving forward?
Like my partner said, we were there to assist the family. They are in a dire situation, in a position where they need time to process what has transpired, it being a serious injury or even the loss of life. The family needs time to mourn, and we are there to be a buffer between giving them time to be able to absorb and deal with the situation, and we are there to handle any logistical issues that need to be done so the family doesn't have to make harsh or rash decisions based on emotion, and when they're not just in the right frame of mind to make those kind of decisions. So we just assist.
Speaking of assist, it's like sports. Going back to your father, sports, your teammates, they depend on you to be there in that certain time and moment that is crucial, because as the time is still on the clock, that means you have time to play in the game. Mm-hmm. And it's so important to have, brotherhood, sisterhood, where everybody can rely on each other. Touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, the key word that you put there, it said there was brotherhood and sisterhood. We don't look at each other as co-workers. We look at each other as brothers and sisters. Now, coming back to that word family, I mean, we're saying that word a lot here, and that's another reason why I love the San Antonio Police Department, because it's also family oriented. But when one brother is down, one sister is down, another one comes up to help. They train us in the department when we're out there in the field. If you get into a situation, if you can hold it down for at least 3 minutes, one of your brothers and sisters are going to be there. And so it's all about, again, that family atmosphere. And you'll ask people who play sports, when they're on the team, you ask them, what does that feel like? It feels like family. And I think that makes the marks for not just a successful team, but just successful lives as well.
And once again, you're listening to I Am Refocused Radio right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. We host Shemaya Reed. We are talking to Officer Doug Greene and Oscar Perez. And this is a perfect transition into a big event that is all about family. And it's a car show. And Mr. Doug Greene is going to give us some details. When is this event coming, and what can the community do to be involved?
Well, this is our annual Memorial Festival and Car Show. It's going to be on March 7th at the San Antonio Police Department Training Academy. That's there on the south side off of 410 between Roosevelt and Morrison. And this event is growing every year. It's free to the public. I take my kiddos out there every year. And there's a lot of food booths out there. And actually, Officer Perez and his organization are going to be out there cooking some turkey legs and bringing some motorcycles out there. And we'll have some jump houses. People will get a closer look at our helicopter and a lot of our other apparatus that we have out there. But let me tell you, this car show is off the chain, man. It's growing every year. Word is spreading. And, I think last year we had almost 200 cars out there, and, wow. And we're expecting more. And so if you have a nice ride out there, come on and bring it out. Just go to sapoa.org, SAPOA.org. You can go and register your car. It's just $25. And bring your car out there. If you're any of those car clubs out there here in San Antonio, we love cars.
I see some cars go by.
Oh man, we got some rides out here. So man, come on out here. And again, let's go back to that word again, family. This is a family atmosphere. We welcome our community to come and spend time, with the other first responders because, San Antonio, if you don't hear it enough, and I feel very strongly on speaking behalf of my brothers and sisters in San Antonio Police Department. We love our community. We love it. We love it to the point to where we will lay down our lives for the community. And we want everybody to live in peace. And we understand that's a challenge. We can't do it by ourselves. We need the community help. But this is just a great time to be in a relaxed environment, a fun environment. We really appreciate you guys came out there last year and shot some video out there and interviewed some folks out there. And so it's just a great time. Bring the family out. It's going to be fun.
And also, Perez, what's some of the fun activities that you look forward to at this event?
Me personally, I love the family atmosphere that we have out there. There's plenty of stuff for the kids to do. There's a lot of jump houses, like my partner said. Food is also great. There's several food trucks out there. Me, myself, personally, we have a booth set up with, we go out there and we smoke some turkey legs, and, who doesn't enjoy a turkey leg?
Man, if you like to eat, you better take some notes.
Yes, sir. And so, we're out there, and all of this is all in benefit of our families that have lost a loved one. So everything that is raised and everything that it's all for families. So, come out and support it. It's a great event, and we look forward to seeing everybody out there.
And the cool thing is that in that car show, the families of the fallen officers, they're judges, and they have some really nice trophies that they hand out to these individuals that bring these nice cars out. But we allow them to be a part of the process, and they really enjoy. And we have families that, we have a family that's coming down from Dallas to be a part of this car show. And so here's just another opportunity to provide for these families, let them know that their loved one has not been forgotten. And also this money helps us, the money that's raised at this event helps us to take a family to Washington, D.C. for the National Police Memorial. And so just the proceeds out there will go a long way in helping these families heal.
And once again, for those listening right now, where and when for this car show?
It's going to be on March 7th. That's a Saturday. We're praying for some beautiful weather. It's going to be from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you're registering your car, you're going to bring it out there. It's going to be a little bit earlier, and you'll find everything on that website, sapoa.org. And again, it's located at the San Antonio Police Department Training Academy on the south side, right off of 410 between Roosevelt and Morrison. When you drive out there, you won't be able to miss it. There's going to be so much stuff going on out there, activities. You're going to see all the people, all the cars, and you won't be able to miss this.
And when we went last year, I remember they even had people driving you to the front gate.
Yes.
I was like, wow, we don't have to walk. Because I remember I was walking and they was like, you need a ride? And at first I was like, nah, but I saw everybody else getting a ride. And then when someone else came, I said, oh yeah, I'll take a ride.
Hop on in.
Because the thing is that's special about that is that these are also officers.
Yes. These are also officers that are volunteering. And so when you're on that ride with them, it's a short period, but here's an opportunity to chat with them and talk to them and get to realize that these folks are human. And I think there's a lot of power in seeing anybody smile or laugh, but it's healing for us officers to be able to laugh and smile, be able to relax a little bit and have a good time and be able to do that with our community.
Well, San Antonio, you heard this right here on 930 AM The Answer. You need to tell a friend to show up and let's support SAPD. And I really mean, let's really show out. We need to really come in numbers and see what something special can happen. Hopefully it'll be a tradition for the city to show up to this event. Well, once again, we're talking to Officer Doug Greene. We're also talking to Oscar Perez. Before we let you go, when it comes to how you see officers interact with the community, everyone's seen things that happen in the media. Everyone sees what's going on in national headlines. Yeah. What makes SAPD San Antonio special, and what makes it to where the community, how can they get more involved so that they can break the cycle of all the biased information that can be out there sometimes?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of things that you'll see and hear on the media, and you'll rarely see all the good things that these officers are doing. These are things that you won't see on spreadsheets or stats. These are officers who are going into their own pockets and providing food and mentoring. A lot of these officers do a lot of volunteering on their own time. One officer opened up his own boxing gym on the west side because he saw the need. He saw a lot of these kids were growing up in broken homes. There was no fathers in the home. He decided, him and his wife, to open up a gym and sacrifice for them. There's a lot of things going on that these officers are making sacrifices that you'll never hear. And they don't want the attention, but it's that servant heart that they have. We're like any other organization, any business. As long as we keep hiring humans, there are going to be some issues that arise. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, all of these guys, they love their community. They love what they do, and they want to see peace in this community. And one way that the community can really help is really if we can have more people come in and serve and volunteer with these organizations that are already doing good things. Mm-hmm. More manpower is what we need. And if you can volunteer in a school, that would be even more helpful to us to help some of these babies, these little kids. We're going to a Heroes for Health presentation after this. And so we try to spend as much time with our youth as possible and try to have an impact on them early. And so if there is anything I would encourage, if you're listening out there, San Antonio, find a way to volunteer and invest in programs that are focusing on our youth here in San Antonio.
Also, I'll pose the same question to Officer Oscar Perez. What would you like to see from the community as far as them being more involved with SAPD and supporting the police officers?
In my perspective, the community that we serve, we have a great community. They're eyes and ears for us. Without them, we can't do our job. A lot of times we're reactive to a situation that happened. So we're not there when it happened. So, being there, having our community let us know what happened. And that in itself, it goes a long ways because we can't do our job without our community.
To kind of draw back what I said earlier in the show, and that is the blue is with you. Mm-hmm. And if anything you can take away from today's episode, just know that. Yeah. If you can share that with a friend and get that dialogue going throughout the city and say, hey, the blue is really with you. Yeah. So when you're out and about, just trust the fact that someone has your back out there. Yeah. And when you're in trouble, who you going to call? Yeah. Yeah. Obviously.
Not Ghostbusters.
Exactly. They're not going to get there fast enough. They may not have the good enough, powerful car to get there fast enough. So you got to trust the blue. And before we let you go, when life is going by fast, because we're always talking about family throughout the episode, and what's the most important thing that a leader can do? What's that trait that you believe each individual should have when they aspire to be a leader?
You know what I heard my pastor, Ed Newton, he mentioned the fastest way to the top is to serve at the bottom, and never be too proud to serve and help people. Even if once you get into that leadership position, don't be afraid to the people who serve under you to appreciate them and serve alongside them, and just that valuing people. And yes, you have a task to do, and it's your job to get people focused on that task. But don't let that task get to the point to where you start losing focus of people's lives and valuing them. So that would be my advice to people. Just stay grounded. Keep your pride in check. And that's a little bit hard to do here in the big state of Texas. Oh,
yeah. We all got that.
Yeah, we all got that. But, again, very, very family oriented. And just remember, people matter. People really matter.
Now, Sir Perez, I'll end it with you. What words of wisdom will you give to anybody out there who just might be struggling? They're trying to find a purpose. They're trying to find what they should be doing in life. What would you say to that person?
I would suggest that always look for help because you're not alone. There's plenty of organizations. There's some there to have your back, as you say. And us as San Antonio policemen, we do have your back. So if there's nobody that you feel that you can turn to, we are there. We are there. We are somebody that you can turn to. And we may not be able to solve your problem, but maybe we can point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
And so having each other's back is the key.
Well, let's express that in San Antonio. Let's have SAPD's back, and let's just focus on that. And on that note, like we say on every single show, wait. I'm going to pause. I want to first say thank you, Officer Doug and Oscar, for being here, talking to the community of San Antonio, because we need more of this collaboration with SAPD. And I want to say thank you, and what you want to say to the audience.
Well, thank you. Thank you for giving us a platform to be able to share our heart with the city of San Antonio. And again, I just can't thank the city enough. Military City, USA. People understand the concept of service, respect, and discipline. And we get a lot of people out here that thank us for our service. And we got people that bring us all kinds of treats to the substations and do all kinds of things to show their appreciation to us. And let me tell you, that goes a long way. Even a hand wave to an officer, because again, like my partner over here said, people don't call us because they had a fresh batch of cookies that just came out the oven. They need an officer to come over there and eat it. And if you have a fresh batch of cookies, call us. Don't call the emergency number. We'll call the non-emergency number, and we'll come on over. But people call us when they are in crisis, and that can take a toll on us officers sometimes. And just a smile and a wave, a little sense of gratitude from our community fuels our soul and makes us want to do our jobs even better.
Well, I'm going to say it for the third time. I said more than 3 times, but I'm saying it one more time. The blue is with you. And on that note, like we say on every single show, keep God first, stay focused, and peace.
Hi, San Antonio. Need a barber? Visit our good friend Rico Rodriguez, the owner of Rockafellas Barbershop in San Antonio, Texas, 1733 Babcock Road, and book your appointment today by calling 210-782-5188.